under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Deborah.
Right back there. Mr. DeCarlo?
Here.
Mr. Hoffman is excused. Mr. Condit?
Here.
Mr. Molina.
Here.
Mr. Silverston?
Here.
Mr. Walter?
I am here.
Approval of meeting minutes for February 25th, 2014.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call on approval of minutes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes. Any amendments to the agenda? Going to reports. Mayor?
No report tonight.
Mr. Carpenter?
I have two items. The first item is with regard to the dedication of the streets. I'm still waiting from letters from legal counsel from both the landings and the crossings. So I would advise us not to pass those until we get them. I know the crossings has a board meeting next Thursday, and they're going to get the approvals necessary to petition for the assessments, which I would recommend we wait for. The second item is one of the pieces of legislation for Chief Buck. Apparently the officer named in that resolution took a job somewhere else or is waiting to take a job somewhere else, so I would recommend that when that one comes up during the second meeting, you make a motion to postpone it till the next meeting, and then during that meeting, you just won't vote it off, postpone it, and it'll die. Thank you.
Thank you. Terry?
The first two discussion items I had were about the street dedications. Paul already touched on those, so I won't go into any more detail. Other than to say that we did receive the assessment spreadsheet and the methodology that was used to determine the rates. And that was for the Willowbrook. That was in the box this afternoon. The next item is the resolution to accept the preliminary site plan for the senior housing. I just wanted to let you know that we have already received the final site plan. It's being reviewed by the fire department and engineering right now. So we'll be ready to schedule that planning commission meeting on approval of the preliminary plan. We are anticipating the lighting and the landscaping plan for that as well, so that should go in with the final. Design status, the only thing that's changed on those is the Regatta Trail project is about 85% complete with the design. And construction status on Nautilus Trail, they have gotten to the point where they're installing the water services and the tie-ins. They're targeting the end of March to complete that. And by the end of April, they should be tearing up the pavement. For building and zoning, the significant thing on there was the memo from Bob Rodick. I put that in the box this afternoon as well. He has some concern for the R5 zoning that deals with the 6 units per building. And so you'll see in that memo, and I believe Paul is going to work on some legislation for that for the next meeting. And that was all I had.
What you've talked about getting to the Nautilus Trail project,
Yes.
we may be starting to field complaints on Time Warner Cable. The new cable, the main trunk that they ran down Nautilus was nicked by Cleveland Water, and it's, Time Warner has had many trucks out all this week already, and it's only Tuesday. So if that happens, just so you have a heads up on it. And on the Harrington tree clearing, there's an issue Saturday morning. They had started a little after 8. I had 3 calls from residents, and I had already called dispatch, and they went out and stopped them. It was about 8:45 when the work
replacement of the fire hydrants, I've had several questions from residents as to who's gonna clean it up and, reseed. Is that the village responsibility, or is that the water is gonna do that?
We hire and they reimburse.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Hey Terry, we'll be discussing 4th of July on Wednesday. It's official, there's no way that's gonna be open for any type of parade.
It's not that you're worried about, it's the bridge. It's not the road, it's the bridge.
So it's possible to, I don't see how, but
That's it, from overuse and that is.
the bridge is the only holdup.
Okay.
though.
I'll check on that, so I'll let you know.
Because they gotta put that in the top.
Anything else for Terry?
Reinforce.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Deborah?
The two things I have are actually more on a personal note. Stacy probably will not be happy because she's not watching YouTube, but, I just wanted to give everybody an update. First of all, I wanted to thank Terry before he sneaks away. Not having Stacy in the office every day, Terry's taken on a lot more responsibility, than what is really his, so I just want him to know that I appreciate that. And, Stacy had 60 stitches. So she just had those removed last Friday and is sounding much more like herself, and we don't have a return date yet, but I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks she'll be back. And she is doing a lot of work from home. Everything you received for council, she was able to produce from home. That's all I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Police chief?
He's had some issues that he needed to take care of.
Chief Plunkett?
The hospital forced us into transitioning into a different software system for reporting our runs and our medical calls and all that, so there's a guy transitioning that right now. Should be done maybe by the end of next month, I hope. And then we'll be able to give you reports on your laptop so that we can paperless as well. So you should, hopefully, all the IT guys can get together, they can make that happen. You won't be seeing any, HIPAA information on it, though. It'll be just the addresses and run numbers and all that. They won't show you any patient information.
Just like
Just be serial report.
Is there gonna be more information than what we used to see, or is?
I haven't seen it. I saw one format of how they wanted to present it to you, and I nixed it because it had too much patient information, and it wasn't a stretch for you to put the type of call together with the name, with the address, and figure out what's going on, and I said, no, you can't have that. So, they're redoing it, and hopefully it'll be enough to give you information, but not enough that you can decipher what the person's problem was,
Although real quick, in the meantime, with your old reports, you could just send them to Stacy or Terry in a
He could
PDF.
scanned it.
And just scan one in.
Okay.
You don't have to necessarily wait on.
Okay. And also, we have the assistant chief's promotional test coming up on April 10th. And our new pickup truck should be here theoretically the first week in April. That's all I know.
how was the retirement luncheon?
It was great. I appreciate everyone who showed up. We had a pretty good turnout. Ron appreciated it, so I want to thank everybody who did something for that.
Good.
Really turned out nice.
I wanted to wait until you came to a meeting. I wanted to thank your men who came to my house. When I had an incident, very professional, very nice. Thank them in public. I'm bad with names, so I don't know who's all there, but
I'll let them know, thank you.
Thanks, chief. Architectural board review?
The next meeting is, 24th of, Monday, the 24th of March at 7 o'clock up here at Village Hall.
Planning and zoning?
No report.
Board of zoning appeals?
Meeting was canceled.
Finance?
finance met earlier today, 40 minutes ago. We recommended payments in the amount of $163,277.46. Next meeting will be the 25th, 6:30. That's all.
Thank you, Tom. Cable?
At our monthly meeting last Thursday, we approved this year's budget. It was a reduction from last year's budget, so we're able to shave a few percentage points. And we're still looking at the impact of the potential takeover of Western Reserve Cable.
Thank you. Communications?
We met last Monday, still working on, we're getting out new resident kits. We are also, with Sam's help, either going to work on improving our smartphone app for Apple and Android, or potentially looking at going a different route and probably a much better smartphone app for the village, so.
I already have one you can download today.
And Sam has one we can download today. So, and we're continuing to, along with that, look at website improvements and a number of other things, so. And our next meeting is Monday, April 7th, up here at the Village Hall at 7 o'clock.
Thanks, Mark. Long-term community development. Recreation?
Recreation will meet next Wednesday, the 19th, and I'm sure we'll discuss the Easter egg hunt, 4th of July, and the bridge situation, and our new event, the Family Day Touch a Truck event. So if you want to come up and join us, come up and join us.
I have a question regarding that, all of the emails that have gone back and forth
Yeah.
about that's all cleared up and we're good, everything's gonna go through you and,
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure I'll have a lot to talk to you about after Wednesday.
okay, very good, thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Records?
Stacy and I
No report. Seniors?
Seniors had lunch today at the Rusty Bucket with 10 seniors in attendance. Next breakfast is March 26th at the Bob Evans in Twinsburg, and we will meet next Monday, the 17th.
Thank you, Mark. Jed?
JED met last Tuesday. We approved a new joint agreement for a new company coming into the JED. The joint agreement is it's a tax rebate if they meet certain incentives that they've outlined. So we'd like to welcome, can't think of the company name, I might even have it here, but we approved that. Our next meeting is gonna be a special meeting April 1st, which is a Tuesday, 7 o'clock at the Township Hall. I know one thing we're gonna discuss is Dean Mullen's retirement party, and from Kent State University, and that's all I know at this point for that special meeting.
The company you were discussing, Tom,
Yes?
do you recall how many employees they were talking about?
It was like 50.
It's something like that, yeah, and
And they commit to a certain amount over a certain period of time. I think it's like 4 or 5 years.
rebates. Right.
You they hire a minimum number of people
And maintain.
Okay.
Right, and it's up to a 50% rebate on the taxes that they pay. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Mid-table legislation, remaining table, ordinance 05-2014, an ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of $6,285,000 of notes in anticipation of the issuance of income tax revenue bonds for the purpose of constructing, furnishing, and equipping a village recreation center, and acquiring, clearing, equipping, and improving its site, and declaring an emergency first reading. Resolution 20,
Can we discuss?
sure.
Go ahead. Guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, Ryan Seth and Michael Priscilla from Piper Jaffrey. We are
They can answer the finance questions for you.
underwriting the placement of this debt. Thank you for having us tonight.
My one question was the payments on the debt. where it looks like there's a balloon payment after 5 years of $5.5 million. That concerned me greatly. Where are we gonna come up with a lump sum of $5.5 million?
The structure is a bond anticipation note, so the note is sort of the crawl before you walk into the bond structure. So when we were forecasting against the income taxes, which serves as the revenue support, the idea is to take out these notes with a longer-term structure, so thus rolling that balloon into a longer-term bond issuance. I think the band structure does a couple things. It allows the village to take advantage of a short-term rate environment while the rec center gets up on its feet, and then hitting the capital markets when it has proven itself out a little bit more. So
So for the layman, basically you're gonna restructure after 5 years?
in effect,
We can do it as soon as we want, actually. It's to help get us going, to get the thing built, to get us the revenue to get started, and then, like you said, lengthen it out and structure at a lower yearly fee.
A number of these transactions issue bond anticipation notes that roll over annually. But in this structure, the investor was allowing us to give us that 5 years. So if you roll these annually, you incur those costs every 12 months. The same third-party costs that are associated with any type of issuance of debt. So in effect, this 5-year structure mitigates a good number of those costs, gives us the option to go ahead and take this out with the permanent long-term financing. So really, in as much that you see a large balloon at that end, it's somewhat semantics. This is really a cost-saving procedure for the village so that we're prepared to take it out to a long-term debt.
Anything else?
What's on there?
Thank you. Resolution 23, 2014, a resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the preliminary site plans submitted by Clover Construction Management for a senior housing complex, third reading.
No, I got a question now, do we need to hold this if Bob's got a,
Yeah, I would have said
Concern
that
on
at the
this.
next meeting when it came up, but I would suggest that we, when it comes to the second meeting, table that till the next meeting, bring it off the table at that time, or whenever Bob gives the okay to it.
Resolution 27, 2014, a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement to purchase a 2014 Ford Utility Police Interceptor from Statewide Ford for a sum not to exceed $38,200, second reading. Resolution 28, 2014, a resolution authorizing a $1,000 donation to the Taste of Twinsburg event and declaring an emergency, first reading. Resolution 29, 2014, a resolution to hire Alexander McKinley as a part-time police officer with the village of Reminderville, first reading. Old business.
Just real quick, since it's now old, the company is Churchill Steel Plates, steel plate. It's gonna be on Bavaria Road, and they're projecting within 6 years to have 43
employees?
plates. The grant would then pay them back roughly $73,000 in tax incentive after 6 years, if they hit those markers. Sorry.
Any other old business? New business?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call on adjournment?
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.